So, what can you tell us about this vice presidential pick that a lot of people in the country, quite honestly, have not heard of before today? They don't know Tim Walz.
Well, I served with Governor Walz when he was a member of the House. We served together for 10 years in the House. And I'm going to say something that can't be said about most politicians. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, people who know Tim Walz love him. He was kind of a workhorse, a no-flash workhorse. The reason people didn't hear about him is because he wasn't the type to demand credit or rush out and do a press release or tweet stuff. He just wanted to get the job done. He was quietly operational and still is. And so I think this reflected good judgment by Vice President Harris, and that as the American people get to know him, they're going to appreciate the qualities that he brings to the ticket and that he would bring to the country.
Steve, what can you tell us about the vice presidential pick's politics? The Republicans are calling him a left-wing extremist, but at the same token, when he ran for Congress, he flipped a formerly Republican rural seat blue.
Yeah, look, we're going to expect the typical sound bites from both parties. The fact of the matter is that Congressman Walz flipped a reliably conservative Republican district. He didn't do it out of ideology. He did it because he was a good representative. He also worked with me when I chaired the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and he had a knack for identifying the right candidates in the right competitive districts. He understood rural sensibilities. The guy was a rural football coach and not an ideologue. And I think we're going to see more of that as the campaign progresses.
Were you surprised by the pick? There was a lot of talk about Josh Shapiro, obviously Pennsylvania, significant swing state, but in the end, it's Tim Walz.
I think that the selection of Tim Walz was actually quite brilliant by Vice President Harris, and here's why. And this is why I wasn't particularly surprised. She chose somebody who has not only demonstrated winnability in conservative and Republican-leaning areas, but also someone that she could trust as a partner, someone who would lead if summoned, somebody that she felt comfortable with. At the end of the day, the decision is made not by polls, but by an audience of one. She was that audience. And by picking somebody like Tim Walz, particularly for his national security credentials, as the highest ranking non-commissioned officer ever to serve in the House of Representatives, that reflected some solid judgment by the vice president.